Hello, hello. This is Jen. I hope everybody's good. I'm here with an energy update, sorry. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're not new. Thank you for being here. Happy New Year to everyone. This is my first update of 2023. I did a complete unplug and disconnect during the holidays, and that was the best thing ever. Ever. Seriously. So I'm here today. What's today's date? January 11th. We had a full moon on last Friday, January 6th, I believe. And yes, I'm here with an energy update for 2023. As you know, I never script those energy updates. I channel as I go. But before I started this recording, I just tuned in because I usually have a pretty good idea of what's coming in, and I just don't know the details. The details come as I go. And before the recording, I just tuned in and focused on the themes, the words that are coming in for 2023, and I came up with six. So let's get into it with the first one, kindness. Kindness, especially after what we've been through with uh, the virus. I'm not going to say the word, but the virus over the past 2 years. We are called now to be in our hearts, to connect to our hearts, to live our heart based life. If you've been following me, I've been repeating this in pretty much every video. Heart based life, heart based life, kindness. Kindness. Why kindness? Because for the past 2 years, a lot of people have been put through a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. And now it feels like we're coming back to a new normal. And we need to adapt to this new normal. We need to adapt to people, how they've changed. So, kindness. To me, kindness is pretty much like a summary of all these six themes I channeled, but let's just go over it anyway. You'll see what I mean. Kindness is being resilient, is being patient with the person that you have in front of you, whether this person is talking to you or trying to, make a deal with you, get something from you, whatever. Kindness is first and foremost respect for the person that you have in front of you, because you don't know their story. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what their battle is. Some battles are invisible. And it could be all kinds of invisible battle. A disease that someone is fighting that it doesn't show physically. Like if we think about mental disease, for example, it could also be a physical disease, but there could be like no like physical signs of this disease. If someone is deaf, for example, you cannot tell that the person is deaf. If a person is blind, sometimes they're able to tell because they walk with a white cane or they have glasses on. But sometimes it's just purely invisible. And again, if you have been following me, you know I talk about Dolores Cannon and the three waves of volunteers. If you identify yourself in being in one of those waves, especially the one in the second wave, you know what I'm talking about. Those physical symptoms that hypersensitive people get are invisible. They are very real to the person going through that, but invisible to others, to those that are external. So if you identify again with being in the first or second wave, You may be part of this group of people who are purging a lot, who are opening the way and the doors for other people. You are at the front of the wave. Basically, you are amongst the first ones to receive the new energies. So that may create weird situations for you. And why I'm talking about this, because I'm this person. I'm this person that I bring up like, hey, do you feel this? Hey, did you realize this or that? And people are looking at me like, what the heck is she talking about? Only to change a few weeks or a few months later and realize what I was talking about. And I realized a long time ago that I'm ahead. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that because I'm not the only one. There are a lot of people who are ahead of the wave. They are just like in the front, the forerunners, the early adopters of what's going on in the energetic world. And when you're outside of that, you cannot tell that someone is receiving like new energies or going through like major downloads and having to deal with multiple physical symptoms. It happened to me during the holidays. A few days I was purging, going through all the physical symptoms, the shaking, the feeling cold, feeling hot, unable to sleep, unable to eat, because my system was going through a reset or a renewal, and it is very extremely demanding on the body. When that happens, all I can do is lay in bed. Lay in bed, meditate, walk, sit, do nothing, not engage my mind into anything because my mind makes no sense at that moment. But when it happens, I know that it's happening. That's the difference. When you know, it's easier to deal. It's easier to accept. So when it happens, I just accept it. And that's actually my second theme for 2023, resilience and radical acceptance. And the word radical is really important here because in that word, I include accepting beyond limits, yet with limits. Okay, so it's a yes, but no kind of situation here. To me, it means allowing yourself to step out enough, out of your comfort zone enough to experience a mindset change with all due respect to your boundaries, respect for yourself, and limits, of course. I'm not talking about radical acceptance in an impossible situation. Discernment always, always, at all times, 100% of the time applies. I'm talking about radical acceptance within your own limits and boundaries, within yourself. So let's see if I can find like a nice analogy or example to give out here. Let's go with food because it's easy to illustrate and demonstrate and understand. Let's say you hate broccoli. And radical acceptance here would be I accept to eat broccoli even though I don't like it very much. Radical acceptance here would be I accept to try broccoli once again, even though I remember not liking it, even though I think I don't like it, even though I know I don't like it. It's testing yourself, testing your limits, trying to go beyond those limits to grow in order to grow. And resilience, just think about an elastic. I mean, you can stretch the elastic very far until it reaches its breaking point. Resilience is not about reaching the breaking point, but it's about stretching yourself. Stretching yourself enough to allow yourself the tenderness, unconditional love, and radical acceptance to grow. Because for a lot of people, and this is very easy to do, we are our own worst enemy. We don't grow or we feel blocked, but we don't realize that we are our own source of blockage, of feeling stuck. And if we apply resilience, a mindset of, let me just try this just to see. Let me put, because there's always a fear component to it, let me put the fear aside for a moment, make a few steps forward just to see how I feel. I can allow myself to test myself to see how I feel. And just like when I get there, how do I feel? My body is relaxed, it's trying to go into expansion. That looks positive. Let me try one more step. It can also happen that it doesn't feel like that. You can feel like, oh, my body is stressing, my body is retracting, therefore I feel like I don't want to go forward. Fine, stay there for a moment. Resilience is trying to see what is going on for you at that moment where you feel that there is resistance, where you feel like you cannot go forward anymore. Question yourself. What is making me feel that way? What do I feel stress about? What do I control? What do I don't control? What can I not control? What can I let go? Automatically, what you need to let go is what you don't control. What you can control, take action. Reflect upon it and just, stay aligned with your values, with your being, with who you are, and move forward. That will unblock you for a few more steps. So it's an entire process where you just go step by step, recognizing the emotions that are going through you, letting them go. That's the resilience part. You don't attach to the emotions. You just let them flow. Let them go through you without trying to resist or to get attached. Because some people get attached without knowing, and then they get blocked. Let them flow. Recognize that they're there, but that you're moving on. You're not getting attached to this. You're moving on. Yeah, okay, it's there. Okay, fine, thank you. Move on. Move on to the next step. Which brings me to the third theme for 2023, which is empathy. Very much linked to kindness, but in a different way. Empathy, and I don't have the exact definition. I'm not gonna get into that, but empathy is what I was saying about being kind. We don't know what people are going through. So empathy is not only being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, but it's really understanding the context and the situation that they live in. Empathy, taking a step forward, is feeling what the other is feeling, but that's not for everyone. A lot of people are empathic or empath that way, and that's fine. More and more people are discovering that they are empath that way, and more people are discovering that they don't understand that world of emotion, and that's okay. That's okay. It's not a race. It's a marathon. So empathy in the sense of when you're in this situation, let's say at work, your colleague is bringing a situation to you, and you feel reactive right away. You feel on the defensive right away. Empathy in that situation would be, let me try to understand it from my colleague's point of view. What are the issues that this person are dealing with? What are the frustrations, the blocks, or the help that this person needs at this moment? Empathy is getting out of your own vision, your own perception, to meet the other person halfway in their own reality. Once that's done, it doesn't mean you need to accept their reality as your own, but you need to accept that it's their reality. And life being a communication game, how are you going to bridge the gap in between you and that person? What's the solution? What's the bridge? That's empathy. Empathy is a bridge to communicate better with other people by understanding their situation. That's my definition of empathy. Let's move on to the fourth theme, which is telepathy. This is my favorite one because honestly, I've been having fun with telepathy for years now, but it's not mainstream yet. One very, very simple exercise that you can do is go to any store. I like to go to the hardware store because that works for me. I'm a woman in a hardware store, so it's normal that I have questions. But let me explain what my process is with telepathy, and this is only one part, one process. There's more to it. I will get into it maybe in this video, but maybe in a different one. But for this, that's all I'm gonna say for today. Go in a store. Go in any aisle. If you're in a hardware store. Last time I did this, I was in a hardware store and I was in the fan aisle. I was looking to buy a fan for home. And I was looking at this fan, a tour, I was looking at it and I was like, I wonder if I can open it, if there's any way to maintain it and clean it. Because I'm assuming that, this is going to get dirty at some point and I'm going to want to dust it at least. There's no information about that on the box. I have no idea. So I'm standing there. And then I see this man in the aisle. He's looking at something else. So I look at the man briefly and in my mind, and I direct my thoughts to this man's mind. I think to myself, but I'm asking him, in my mind, without speaking, with no words, I'm thinking, sir, do you know if we can clean this fan? And I just direct my thoughts towards him. I just picture a wave of energy going from my mind to his mind. And then I go back to looking at the fans. Well, what do you know? Not even a minute later, this man has turned around, is standing right next to me, and is telling me, pointing at the fan that I was looking at, he's telling me with his words, with his voice, don't buy this fan. You can't clean it. Automatically, I started laughing because the experience worked. But this is just to show that it really does work. So you can try it for yourself. And of course, to do this, you need to be in an environment that is at least a little bit calm. If there's too much chaos around, for sure, the results are not going to be there. And this is just an example where I had someone physically standing next to me. But you can do this at a distance as well, with people that are far away from you. That goes into the law of attraction, that goes into remote viewing, that goes into telepathy, where with your intention, you project your intention onto someone. And of course, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. It has to be benevolent. It has to be out of good intentions. If you're doing this to hurt people, please restrain from doing that. This is just for like communication purposes. You can do it with your close friends, with your life partner, your kids, your family, your clients, whatever. Try it. It works. And it's going to work more and more in 2023. A lot of people are already in it. They just don't realize it right away. But the first sign that you're ready to get there is, for example, when you're at home, you think about someone and you get a text, a message over social media, or a phone call from that person. That is telepathy. You are able to pick up that person's thoughts and intention to get in touch with you. And that all goes and is all related to the united field that we live in. I mean, it goes in the field and then it goes back to that person and vice versa. It's not that difficult to do. It's just that since there's so much noise in the lives that we live, it can be difficult to hear the messages. But trust me, they're there, they're present. It just requires some preparation to be able to be a clear channel for telepathy. Moving on to the next subject, the fifth one, emotions. More and more people will come out publicly or to the mass as being hypersensitive. This didn't surprise me at all when I received that theme. I am hypersensitive. I feel everything. I'm driving in my car at a red light. I'll know what the driver in the next car is thinking about, kind of thing. And now more and more people are coming into that awareness, consciousness. It's part of our spiritual gifts. It's part of human nature. It's part of telepathy. It's part of who we are as a race and as a big family. It's just that it's been shut down for centuries. And a lot of people have been disconnected from that part of themselves, but it's coming slowly. It may manifest and show up in a lot of different ways for different people, but usually you recognize yourself as being an empath. You recognize yourself as, for example, being drained when you go in big crowds or when you go shopping and it's really, really crowded. The noise, all the movements around are affecting you because it's getting in your energy field. Now, emotions also involves the management and the intelligence of emotions, being emotionally intelligent, being emotionally aware of what is going on in you and in others, which is awareness, self-awareness and awareness. So emotions to me goes hand in hand with awareness. The more aware you are of your emotions, the better you can manage them, the better you will understand yourself, the better you will come in your spiritual gifts. Now think about this one for a minute. Because spiritual ascension, spiritual awakening is becoming aware of your internal systems. Your internal systems are powered by your emotions. So the more aware you are about your emotions, the better you will be at becoming your authentic self. It's a process, a lifelong process. It is not something that we do overnight. Impossible. It's layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of healing taking away the bad memories, the bad programs, negative programs, to reveal who you really are at your core. This may sound esoteric if you're new to this baggage, but if you're not new, you are surely resonating with what I'm saying. And last but not least, the one I prefer the most, the sixth theme for 2023 is love. Love. More love. Love conquers all. Love, love, love. So we had a really awesome example. Even though it wasn't awesome, it is awesome for this presentation, but not awesome in reality. If you follow football, you're probably aware of Damar Hamlin, the Bills player that suffered a cardiac arrest right on the field, and they stopped the game. This experience, even though is a negative one for this player, but he's fine now. He came back home, brought the world together. I saw so many people, and of course I'm a football fan, but this is just to illustrate the love theme here. It brought so many people together. If you look over social media, if you just do a search for with the hashtag love for Damar, you're going to be amazed to see what comes out of that. And he said it himself, the love that was shown to me, blah, blah, blah. This is just to show that the power of intention and that love conquers all. If you do things with love, if you start with an intention of love, you can't go wrong. So in 2023, we are getting ready to receive more love and to give more love to ourselves and to others in order to live in a more kind society, in order to live in a more, I want to say, peaceful society. Love, 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 always love, love, one love, love conquers all. I can never say this one enough. So with that comes a huge heart chakra opening. A lot of people are in it right now, and trust me, this one is like, I don't have the words to describe it, more than major. It can feel like anxiety attacks, pressure on the lungs, backaches, feeling uneasy. No, aside from if you have medical issues, always get yourself checked. This opening of the heart chakra is on a whole new level beyond what we've seen before. Like, I have the feeling right now in my body, and I have no words to describe it because my work is not done. I'm still working on it. But trust me, it made me go through a ton of physical symptoms, getting the chills, feeling like I have a fever even though I don't have a fever, unable to sleep at night, sleeping by stretches of 30 minutes, getting no REM sleep at all, feeling very tired all day long. I know I was purging at the same time, and I knew I was getting ton loads of download. I know now that when this happens, the only thing I can do is fuck it, radical acceptance, let it happen, because anything I'm going to try to do is not going to work anyway because I need to go through this. So yeah, this is it, friends. Thank you for being here. You can follow me on social media at IndigoGirl555 on Instagram, IndigoGirl on Facebook. You can reach out by email at indigogirl555@gmail.com. And until the next time, be well.